6-year-old Maryland boy is speaking out after being suspended from school for making a gun gesture with his finger.
Just pointing her fingers like this, and then she did the pow sound, and I just went like that. And then I got sent to the office again. And I'm the one that gets suspended for just nothing.
Suspension has now been reversed, but questions remain. Did the school overreact, or was extra caution justified in the wake of the Newtown Elementary School massacre? Joining us now for a fair and balanced debate is Jen Singer, mommy blogger and author, and Thomas Kirsting, psychotherapist and school counselor. Thanks both for joining us. Mr. Kirsting, I don't think anybody believes that this 6-year-old was planning to massacre anyone with his index finger. So isn't it therefore a hysterical overreaction to punish him for making that gesture?
Well, I happen to have a 6-year-old daughter myself, and that was my first inclination, was to think, are you kidding me? They suspended a kid over this. But having worked in a high school for 18 years, in addition to doing private stuff, there's definitely more layers to this than just a kid pointing his finger into school saying, oh, we're going to suspend you for it. From what I heard, there were a couple of other incidences that took place before that. The kid was talked to. The school officials, I'm sure they're nervous at, considering what happened right after Newtown themselves, and they probably overreacted, I would say so. But the issue had to be addressed somehow, and there probably could have been a better way of doing that.
Yeah, Jen Singer, I wonder, and not knowing anything about this boy's background or his other behavior, but I wonder if the best way to handle it might be to talk to him and educate him. These are, after all, educators, and sending him home and punishing him might not be the best way to do that.
Yeah, there's a difference between discipline and punishment, and this was straight punishment. Discipline will at least teach the child why he shouldn't be doing that. In fact, my son just told me that when he was in kindergarten, a whole bunch of his friends ran around shooting guns, finger guns at each other, and the teacher just disciplined them and explained why that was wrong.
I wonder, Mr. Kirsting, if this doesn't teach the lesson that we don't want our kids to learn, which is that some adults don't have emotional control. I know that we're all feeling, and I include myself in this group, emotional after watching the aftermath of those Newtown massacres. But shouldn't teachers have full command of their emotions and not be hysterical and not overreact? Doesn't that scare the kids when they do?
Yeah, well, you know what? Teachers are human beings as well. I mean, I remember sitting at my desk at the high school I work at when I heard this, and I was definitely emotionally overtaken by this. I was very upset by it. So it is, I think, far-reaching to expect a teacher to, to really just push aside the emotions of a situation like this. I think that's a lot to ask as a human being. But on the other hand, it's a 6-year-old kid. If this happened a year ago, we wouldn't be talking about this right now.
Right. Jen Singer, I wonder, do you think there is too much, as you put it, punishment and not enough discipline in schools in general?
Yes, I think the easy answer is to punish a child. It takes more work to discipline them. But listen, as a soccer coach of boys, I know boys will be boys, and you need to teach them discipline, not punishment.
And give me the distinction for how you would teach discipline versus how you would punish someone.
Well, you need to explain to them why we don't do that, why it's bothering the teacher that they are doing that, and then redirect their attention to something more positive.
Do you agree with that, Mr. Kirsting?
I do agree with that. One other thing that I think has been overlooked here, in support of the school administration, I'm not supporting the suspension, don't get me wrong on that end. One overlooked piece here is the fact that the school has the obligation to protect other kids in the classroom. So I'm sure that was something on their mind. God forbid one of the kids was affected by that gesture and went home. So it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't sort of situation for schools and administrators nowadays.
Well, I don't think you're damned by declaring a 6-year-old's index finger not dangerous. I think we could do. I mean, I hope we live in a country where we can just say, you know what, your index finger's not capable of killing you.
Right. We're not. It's like Jesse James and the Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
With Bobby Brady back in the 1960s.
Thank you both. That's an interesting conversation.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Coming up.